Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Breaking news. At least 60 dead, 145 injured in Russian concert attack claimed by ISIS. The attack left more than 60 people dead, Russian media said. It has been confirmed by American intelligence this was ISIS. Now, I'm going to play a little bit here, but I want to make a point before we start. Those of you screaming and hollering about gun control in Russia, well, the average Russian doesn't have weapons like they have in the United States. They open fire, they let off explosives, which caused the building to catch on fire. Where's the outcry for guns? You know, I saw a video once that said, you want to get rid of harassment in the workplace, stop hiring women. And then the girl smiled and said, that's the same thing you use about gun control. You want to get rid of gun violence, get rid of the guns. You want to get rid of sexual harassment, get rid of the women. That's the logic, and it's ridiculous. You see nobody calling for gun control in Russia. Let's listen.
Right now, and this one is also devastating. 40 or more people is the count who have been killed and at least 100 injured after a shooting when gunmen burst into a concert hall on the edge of Moscow this evening, according to Russian security service. Correspondent Alex Hogan reporting on this live from London for us. Hi, Alex. What do you know?
Hi,
what can you tell us?
Martha. We're just getting more details coming in about this, but a terrifying scene for people who were at a concert. This is a concert hall in Moscow, just in the surrounding area, when people who were watching the band Picnic suddenly heard the sound of gunfire. People started screaming, running, creating this mass exodus as people tried to escape. And as we look at sites just like this, some of these horrible scenes of mass panic, that is likely what could have caused some of the other injuries. We know as many as 100 people have been wounded after about 5 gunmen who were dressed in camouflage came in to that concert hall and started opening fire. We know as many as 70 ambulances responded to the scene as flames broke out from the building. Again, this mass panic at a time where there's still not a lot of details as to exactly who these gunmen are, but we have heard from the mayor of Moscow saying that this has been a terrible tragedy, as right now, with all of this still unfolding, with the amount of victims that are likely being hospitalized.
Like I said before, so it's Russia's fault that terrorists did this horrible thing, and it is incredibly horrible. Let's read on. ISIS has claimed responsibility for an attack at a large concert hall in Moscow area that left more than 60 people dead and nearly 150 injured on Friday. The attack began when gunmen donning combat gear burst into Crocus City Hall, where concertgoers were going to hear the Russian band Picnic and opened fire. The gunmen also threw explosives in the concert hall during the attack, which set the building on fire. People were being evacuated, but some remained trapped in the burning building, Russian media said. And there it shows probably their version of SWAT team. The Islamic State made the claim on its official social media channels. Yeah, that's the other thing. For a long time, President Trump was barred from being on Twitter, but the Ayatollah in Iran and many other terrorist groups still had a voice on Twitter, but they banned a sitting president. Before ISIS claimed responsibility, Russian officials said the incident was being investigated, but they didn't know who was responsible. But later, ISIS said it was them, and American intelligence has confirmed. You see some of the building burning there. The mayor of Moscow called the attack a huge tragedy. Of course it is. And the first thing, of course, is Ukraine said they denied any Ukrainian involvement before ISIS claimed responsibility, and I believe them, actually, because that would be incredibly stupid. There's not the slightest doubt the events of Moscow suburbs will contribute to a sharp increase in military propaganda, accelerated militarization, expanded mobilization, and ultimately the scaling up of the war. Yeah, well, that's Ukrainian propaganda. It's amazing. Putin has been briefed on the attack, and he gave us all the necessary instructions to law enforcement and security services, according to his press secretary. The Russians are treating it as a terrorist attack, which it is. Before ISIS LA claim, said Russian officials were already blaming the attack on Ukraine. Well, that would be their first instinct, and it would be mine as well. The Russian Cultural Ministry has canceled all mass and entertainment events in the upcoming days in the area. So there you are, a huge terrorist attack. This is some lone gunman in a school or whatever it is. It's a huge attack. And where is the outcry from the progressives about gun control? There's very serious gun control in Russia. Believe me, the population doesn't have guns. That's why they have to put up with the crap they do for so many, I'll even say decades, a couple of centuries, actually. That's the way it is. When your people are unarmed, where's the armed security in the concert? I don't know. Don't know the details. But this is tragic. And they're probably all younger people, too, because it was a concert. 60 dead, 150 injured. How badly were they injured? Probably shot. Who knows? Some of them might have burned up when the building caught on fire. Smoke inhalation dyes, burning from the fire, you name it. So there it is, folks. It is in the evil United States. And why in the world would ISIS have the balls to take on Russia? That one I don't get. I don't get that one at all. ISIS is defending Ukraine? Not at all. Ukraine is a Christian nation. So is Russia, technically. I don't see the reason for it, even a bizarre, twisted reason. I don't get it. Now, I wouldn't want this to happen in the West, of course, Western Europe, the United States, Australia, the Western, so-called Western countries. But why would they pick Russia? I don't know. I don't have the mentality of a terrorist or a madman. But there it is. A concert just shot to pieces by ISIS. Came in camo with automatic weapons and explosives. So those of you progressives out there, where is the outcry for gun control in Russia? Apparently it doesn't matter, does it? Just like the little scenario I gave at the beginning of the video, you want to get rid of sexual harassment, get rid of women in the workforce. Well, that's preposterous, right? Just like if you want to get rid of gun violence, get rid of guns. Guns have been around for centuries in the United States. When I was a kid, I got to high school in 74, especially the rural areas. People brought shotguns with them in the rack in their pickup trucks. They had gun clubs, rifle clubs, and they all went hunting after to save time from going all the way home. There was no mass shootings. What's happened was the mental stability has been weakened tremendously in a very large percent of our population. And that's the issue. And what caused that? Massive propaganda from the left. Hear it over and over and over. So here it is. ISIS. We're going to see what happens. But I'll tell you what, Vladimir Putin, I'm sure, is pissed. And I don't blame him. We're going to see what happens to ISIS around the world because the Russians don't play. Until next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.